Hey gang, our good friend Bobby Tyler from Tyler Gunworks came in for a visit and he brought a very special gun with him. Now this is a gun that he is producing and is offering for sale, and it was so cool and everybody here loved it so much. I said, we gotta come up and do a quick video on it. It's that exciting. So Bobby, tell us what you got here. This is probably the coolest six gun I've seen in a long time.
Man, this is one that we're super excited about. When you can pick one up and it just puts a smile on your face every single time, you know you've got the right one.
Yeah.
So what we did is we took a base Blackhawk. We basically extracted the receiver and the cylinder out of it.
So this is a large frame 45 Colt, 45 ACP convertible.
Yep.
Bobby calls me up, I don't know, several months ago and goes, hey, I need a couple hundred Blackhawks. What do you got? And fortunately, we had some. And he goes, okay, I'll take them all. I'm like, okay, you must have something cool going up your sleeve if you want all of these. So what all did you do to it?
So here's the thing. For the last 10 years, building an octagon barrel has its challenges. Yeah. Everybody wants a good octagon custom. You know, every collector, every shooter, they're like, can we upgrade to an octagon? I'm like, well, you know, right now, the practicality of building an octagon one-off, it's so expensive. Yeah. So this is what we're going to call a semi-custom. I mean, it's a full custom, but we're doing it on a production level. Yeah. And so when you build 250 of them, you build 250 of this piece, 250 of this piece, but they are hand-fitted to each revolver.
So start off, you mentioned the frame and the cylinder is the only thing really still original. Yeah. Why don't we start from the front of the gun and work your way back and tell us what all you did to it?
Let's do that. So first off, we wanted an octagon barrel, and so then the debate came up, well, how long? Mm-hmm. And so I spent a lot of time thinking, well, do we do because our last project, we did a short barrel, we did a 4 1/4 inch. Yeah. It was a great hit. It was lightweight. This one, I wanted more. I wanted balance. I wanted the design, I wanted the layout, and I wanted it to just feel right. And we fell right into the 5-inch octagon.
Yeah, which is a non-standard barrel length for a single-action revolver.
So here's the thing. What I'm wanting to give our customer is practicality and, you know, something that's different. Yeah. You know, because you can buy a 5.5. You can buy all these different barrel lengths. You can't buy a 5-inch octagon. So we started with a 5-inch octagon, and I thought, well, let's do a full-length ejector rod housing. Keep it flushed, keep it aesthetically pleasing. You don't have a gap. You don't have any of those things.
Yeah, so, at first glance, it looks like a 4 5/8 inch gun.
It does. It does. So full-length ejector rod housing, custom front sight, and then the neat thing is the top of this barrel, that ribbed barrel. That I mean, this was just icing on the cake. And
just little custom touches that you would normally see on a custom.
So we actually partnered up with Ronnie Wells on some of the parts out of here, and when we get back to the rest, I'll tell you. But the barrel, he had the CNC capacity to go in and capacity out and basically machine all the flats into the ribs. So we're basically taking these barrels and setting the cylinder gap and fitting them and cutting everything down. But they come in. We bought all the barrel stock. They're coming in pre-ribbed.
So on this barrel, you get a custom crown.
Oh, yeah.
You get a user replaceable front sight. Comes with a gold bar front sight. For all you long-range six-gunners, already comes out of the box.
24 karat gold bar in the front sight.
In the front sight.
You know, this was a details gun.
The little details gun. This is a true six-gunner's gun.
It really is.
You got the octagon barrel. It's a tapered octagon, so it's not super heavy. That's the one thing everybody noticed when they picked this gun up. It balances perfectly.
Yeah. I have not yet handed it to anybody that they didn't just kind of and then they smiled. You know, it just puts that smile on
We
your
were
face.
looking at some of my guns last night, and I pulled out a 4 5/8 inch large frame and a 5.5. 4 5/8 felt a little butt heavy. The 5.5 felt nose heavy. You throw this gun out, and it's this perfect balance point. And even though they weighed basically the same, this gun feels notably lighter in the hand because of that balance.
And even with the octagon, even with the grip frames made out of solid bar stock brass, even with that, when we weighed them earlier,
they were within like half an ounce.
They were right there. So anyway, let's.
So what are you selling? What are you setting your cylinder gaps at?
So the cylinder gap on this particular one is 3 thousandths.
3 thousandths, perfect.
And so it's going to be, that answer's tough, where the trigger and the cylinder gap comes out, because we're hand fitting them, and when we get it to where it's perfect, we stop.
Yeah.
So that could be 3/1000ths, it could be 4/1000ths, but on your test target, each one is made individually, and so you'll see where it comes out, but it's not like everyone has to be.
Gotcha.
As long as it's clear enough that you can go out and shoot it without it getting dirty, and
It's a balance between reliability and performance.
you got it. So this one came out at 3/1000ths. Honestly, we could have probably stroked this one out to 4 and had just a little more clearance. We'll just see where they come out.
So get into the frame.
So we got past the full length ejector rod housing. We get into the frame. The Skinner sights belt mount and base pin was a
no-brainer.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. The cross pins in these are hardened, heat treated. They are not gonna they're not gonna snap. They're not gonna get that little nicks on them that ends up getting loose.
Yeah.
And so that's an upgraded item that's on this, and it'll actually be on all of them from now on, because it's one of those items that we're always seeing problems with, and so we fixed it.
Kind of an endurance upgrade.
It really is. Yeah. And so we ended up going with color cased frame, and the way this thing designed out, it's like, what are we going to call this? And actually, you and I had talked about this a few times.
A lot.
And it's like, we need something that fits it. And so this is the Brasshawk.
I love it.
And so you got the brass grip frame, the Blackhawk. It just
kind of all goes together.
It just works.
It works.
And so it's marked, Brasshawk right here on the cylinder frame. And then
so it's a convertible.
It is.
So you've got 45 Colt and 45 ACP cylinders. They're both fluted.
Right.
You also have your rear sight is
RW.
RW is rear sight inserts. It's a black serrated notch.
It is, and I went with that instead of a white. I mean, that's an easily changed item.
Yeah.
But for me, that solid black serrated.
It's a real clean sight picture.
And having that front sight 100,000th gives you a lot of window inside that picture.
It's a narrow, really serrated front, so it gives you a really clean sight picture, and at distance, it allows you to not cover up your target so bad. Right. And I like the fact that you went with the black rear notch in conjunction with that gold bar. It makes it pop versus having that outline.
Absolutely.
I think that was a good call on that. Yeah. Now, you have on the grip frame, you've got a special design that you guys did.
We did. So back when we did our featherweight, Ronnie and I kind of got to talking, and I was like, Ronnie, I want like a number 5, but I want it to be longer. There's some things about the number 5 that doesn't fit my hand exactly right. And so we extended the length. We changed the angle a little bit in the back strap. We did a few things, and we got done. I was like, hey, this would be a neat grip frame. He's like, well, that's your grip frame. Ronnie, if you don't know Ronnie, and he's like, well, that's your grip frame. I said, well, let's call it like the EK Express or something. Let's do something like this. Nope, that's the bow tie. And so they come with a brass bow tie grip frame.
Yeah, I liked it. It really feels good. It balances well with the gun, and it's proportionate to it.
Right.
That the way that the grip frame is shaped with the 5-inch barrel, it's got good proportions and good lines. Now, another thing that you kind of surprised me with, when I thumbed this hammer back on this gun, I was like, this doesn't feel like a regular Ruger Blackhawk. So this gun didn't start life as a Bisley, but it's got a Bisley hammer.
Right.
So
it
where
started
does
life
hammer
just
come?
a standard
So
hammer.
where did that hammer come from?
So that is a product that Ronnie Wells, RW, he EDMs these out, builds them. And if you'll notice, the design of the swoop of the hammer, that's not even just like a Ruger hammer. That's a different design. This mimics the old Colt Bisley.
It's got a really graceful lines. But when you thumb that hammer back, there's just a
so dimensionally speaking, when he designed this hammer and cut it out, you know how you'll get a Ruger and you'll use it a few times and the sides will start to mark?
Yeah.
So this one never will. So what he did is he went in on the sides of the hammer where it contacts inside, and dimensionally speaking, it's perfect. And it fills up that gap. There's no wobble to it. Yeah. And then when you get up to the sides of the hammer where the color case goes up, it's clear.
Perfect.
And so it is a precision instrument with inside of it.
It's right. And when you cock the hammer, you can feel the difference.
Yeah.
There's just a real decisive thunk when it hits
when you do the action job, guess what? you've got such a high quality part to work with.
Yeah.
And so it's free spun. So, you're loading, you're on the range, you're loading, dadgum, you go past.
Yeah.
Instead of having to go all the way back around, you just back it up.
Back it up.
Throw
If
it
you
in.
get a bullet pull from
Yeah.
a heavy round, you're not.
And that's one of the
screwed out there in
things,
the field.
early on, we snuck off and went on a little trip, and you and another guy got to look at it, and I was like, well, is there any changes? And you're like, what can we free spin this? And I was like, yeah, it's just another step, but you know what? At this point, we haven't cut any corners
I
yet,
think it was the right way to do it.
So
on
we
that
went
gun.
ahead and free spun it, and it was worth every bit of it. So one of the things we didn't talk about, you mentioned that it's a large frame, and so being able to have the access to shoot full house Ruger loads,
the
it
Ruger
just
only
gives
stuff.
it a.
Yeah, I mean, this gun can shoot everything from 45 ACP to your full power 300 grain at 1,300 feet per second, 45 Colt loads. And a package is very shootable.
Yeah.
The recoil impulse on this gun is very manageable. You did the custom stocks, we haven't talked about those yet.
No.
But the gun handles recoil extremely well.
It does.
And the 45 Colt, in a large frame Ruger, is the most versatile handgun cartridge out there.
Yeah.
It does everything a 44 Magnum will do, then some, with a lot less pressure. And so I like it because you don't need all the extra barrel. The 5-inch barrel on a 45 Colt is really ideal.
Day before yesterday, we were over at a range in Texas, and we were shooting this thing. He had a gong set up out there at 175 yards. I think we were just inside, so we may not have been shooting the whole 175, but we were a long ways away, and there was hits made on the gong without, and it wasn't like you were just lobbing lead.
Right.
The first one you're like, oh, it was a little to the left, and thing,
Yeah, it was
accuracy,
doable. It was doable.
Accurate.
It was doable.
And they were sufficient loads, and it's and it starts from the balance from the start to the finish where we're going, and so let's keep going on the grip frame. Let's talk about the grips a little bit, but the ability to take and design this thing out to where it balances is how you make those accurate shots. How you can use this as a hunting gun, but do it with style.
Yeah.
So we fit the brass grip frame, and that's a seamless finish. So that from the receiver to the grip frame, it's seamless.
Yeah, those frames come oversized.
Oh yeah,
and you fit them down.
Fit them
exactly
you
to
them.
the deal.
And so that's a file fit, 1-to-1 fit to the frame. And then I thought, we're not going to engrave the whole gun, but let's give this thing just a little bit of something to stand out and blend in between the octagon, the color case, and the brass off the walnut. And so I had Ricky Sharp, one of our in-house engravers, hand engrave every single one of these grip frames.
It looks great.
And it's a pattern that's not too much, not too little.
Yeah. It really accents the gun perfectly.
It really did. So then before we engrave it, we take some high-grade walnut, which, we have some black walnut, we have English walnut. They will be high-grade walnut. That's
non-negotiable.
Yeah. And so whatever we grab that's beautiful, that's what we're going to fit to it. And we go in. I've got 2 people at the shop right now fitting grip frames by hand and fitting the grips. But we 1-to-1 fit the grips. They should look like they were melted and poured onto this frame.
Yeah, there's no seams.
There's no seam. There's no gaps. It's there's just a little bit of a ledge here on the side, and we do that to help with cracking, recoil, and so they're not brought down all the way flush to the frame. On most any customs,
but you don't see that on.
You really don't. No. And the palm swell that we put in the grips, just the fit. Yeah. It's part of the balance.
It all works.
Yeah.
We always talk about this with our projects. It's always the little extra 2% in the details, and you got it all done on this gun. This is the finest. You could actually have it today. Blackhawk that I've seen.
Yeah,
it's really a great package.
When these are available, it's not going to be where you have to buy it and wait 6 months, a year and a half, 5 years.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be a deal where as we build them, we'll be adding them to the website. This first batch, we've got 12 going through. They'll be on the website. The next batch, And and I've had people already call that caught wind, like, hey, can I pre-order one? I was like, no. The best relationship you ever have with a customer is you either have their gun or their money. But you never want both at the same time.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, the package of the gun is outstanding. However, you didn't stop there. So now you've got this really cool custom 6-gun. It's got to have some custom leather to go with it.
Yeah.
So tell us what you came up with.
So I mentioned earlier that we stopped and shot this thing at that 175-yard handgun range. That just happened to be the range at the bear track. So we stopped off on my way up here and picked up this leather that Mike Baranti, Doc, made. And this piece will be available to be able to, so each one of these revolvers will come in its own case. So the case for this is right here. And inside here, there'll be a card to be able to go in and access this leather. This will be on his direct line. There's going to be a link just to this. And this will be the piece that
kind of goes with it.
Doesn't
come with it, but it's
Right.
available to buy.
And it doesn't
with
mean
it.
you have to have just this.
Yeah.
But this is the one we designed out. It fits it. It covers it. It'll be marked Tyler Gunworks and Bronte Leather. And this was just the perfect piece that matched up to what we were doing.
It would be a shame to put a 5-inch barrel gun in a 5.5-inch holster.
I could not agree more.
The OCD
and
wouldn't
the other
allow
thing
that.
we did is when we were talking about it, I said, I want something on it so that it's a little bit dressed up, because if you'll remember on our last project, it was a bead blasted.
Yeah.
And
You
we
did a
put in a rough
rough
out,
Yeah.
and it worked.
Mhm.
But I wanted smooth leather, and I said, well, let's look at maybe doing something on it. And
I like it. It looks
we went
great.
with the bear track, and it really worked.
It looks really good. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Now, in each of the bags will also come a target that you test fired.
Yeah. That's
This
a
is one
hand
that you
shot.
guys-
Yep, that's a hand shot at 25 yards. And honestly, this revolver outshot the shooter.
Yeah.
And,
That's
you know,
pretty dang good.
That was one that I was on the range shooting it. I caught a good day, and I was like, all right, it's a good day, and I was out there shooting, and these two shots, they were shooter error.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
so
that's
if you
pretty
get a target, and sometimes I'll have one that I might have one that goes up here 3 inches high or 2 inches high. Sometimes I keep honest targets. I mean, in a world of AI and all these things, some good honest stuff like that goes a long way. So sometimes a customer might get one of these, and I'll take a pen and I'll write "oops" by it. It's just little things where
it's still hand fired.
yeah. So it's shot. It's
You
not,
got all your dimensions, all your information
all the
on the
specs
card.
on the
so
card, and that's where you
that's
have
good.
your cylinder gap, your trigger pull, the things that you need to know.
Yeah.
That with a
Well, not
revolver
everybody
like
has
this.
the right tools to measure all that stuff.
Right.
So
right.
it's good to have all that.
Right.
Of course, you get your extra cylinder
Yep.
and a little deal right there. So that's the great thing about this gun is that 45 ACP is super cheap to shoot.
Yeah.
It's a great way to practice. A great way to get maybe somebody who's a little recoil sensitive in.
Take a
be
young
able to
shooter
shoot
out
that.
and say, hey,
It's a very versatile package. We've always said that a large frame Black Hawk 45 Colt convertible is kind of the sleeper in the gun world. It's really one of the most versatile single action revolvers you can own. Now, this package takes it to a level that just makes it perfect. And again, we're not carrying these guns, we're not selling them, but it was so cool. I'm like, we got to do a video on this gun because it's getting harder and harder to find these higher end type revolvers these days, especially in blued.
the guys that came
colored
before us
case.
that did so much of this, they're
retiring
They're
out.
retiring. They're aging out, and it's something that we didn't reinvent the wheel here. This isn't something that hasn't been built, but the guys that are doing it, you get a huge backlog, or you get guys that are just flat retiring, and it's good to take and keep learning and keep improving on these ideas.
And it's the thing about true custom, you can have it your way, but you're not going to get it anytime soon.
Yeah.
This is going to have all the bells and whistles that most people would want in a revolver, yet you can buy it today. So tell people
they're going to come this way.
They're going to come this way.
This is the configuration.
Yeah, this is a configuration. That's why you can get it today. It's not a true, well, I want this particular engraving pattern, or I want this barrel length. This is the package. But you're getting all those upgrades that all the custom packages have.
Correct.
And actually, and then some.
And then some. And that's why, one little tidbit, that's why instead of just building the gun, what I wanted. I reached out. I reached out to guys like Jason. I reached out to several people within the shooting community and said, hey, what do you think about, this in the 5-inch? What do you think about the, and that's where, somebody said, well, did you do such and such? I said, well, no, but we will.
We will.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, tell people where they can get this gun, Bobby.
So this will be available on our website. So it'll be www.tylergunworks.com. Go to our store. You'll find the link for the Brasshawk. You go on, and when you go on and buy one, it'll probably ship within 1 to 2 business days.
Great.
So it is an item that when you pay for it, if it is in stock, buy it. If it's not, come back and check. Yeah. Browse through, shop, look around, but when they're in stock, we'll have them, and when there's 250 of them gone, we're not going to make any more. It's not going to be something that's just a forever thing.
Right.
And so get one when you see one.
That's great. If you want a really cool 6-gun and be able to have it today, go check these out. Don't hesitate, because I think these are going to go really fast. We were at the Shootist Holiday, and he had one out there, and there was quite the line of people wanting to shoot that gun.
Yeah.
So it's a really great package. It's the best balance in single action, large frame Blackhawk Bisley I've ever held. So it's a great gun. Got a chance to get some really cool leather with it. Go check it out. Tyler Gun Works. They're making some really cool stuff.